If you've been following my channel, you probably know I'm currently making a miniature dollhouse kitchen from scratch. And as fun as this project is, it's also quite complex and time-consuming. So I kinda wanted to take a little breather and work on something quick and easy. So easy, in fact, that if you're new to the channel or the world of miniatures in general, this is a perfect beginner's project. As always, I have free printables and templates linked later in the video, so now let's dive right in. To make this tiny popsicle, we're gonna start by cutting this part and then we'll simply attach the two sides together. As usual, I suggest using cardstock from old packaging for this, since we all generally have some at home and, you know, repurposing is fun. Also, you get extra points if you use an old popsicle box for this. Next, we're gonna cut this part and then we'll glue the two pieces to the previous ones, one per side. We'll have to repeat the same step for this part and we should end up with this. At this point, we can cover the entire piece with 1 or 2 layers of acrylic gesso. I absolutely love using acrylic gesso on my favorite miniatures because it helps smooth out the surface, strengthen the cardstock, and it's also great to add a bit of texture when needed. Now, the next step is 100% optional, but I always like to use a bit of spackle to smooth out the edges of my miniatures, as they often end up looking a little uneven given that they're made of several stacked layers. At this point, we can start painting our little popsicle, starting from the stick. And anyway, let's take a moment to appreciate the top-notch quality of my paintbrush. I mean, just look at it. Isn't it the most beautiful thing ever? As for the popsicle itself, we can play around with various colors and color combinations to make a variety of different flavors. I picked strawberry and cream and orange. Next, we'll have to use a little bit of clear varnish to give our popsicles a sort of a wet look. And I find that instead of just brushing it, it's better to tap it on with your paintbrush or a makeup sponge. You'll get a better texture this way. Now, you may have noticed that I've been kind of obsessed with making tiny packaging for my miniatures lately, so here we are. First, we're gonna print and cut this part, fold it along these lines. And finally, glue the sides to create a little box. And I printed this with my selfie printer, but you can use any colored printer, and if you don't have photo paper available, you can achieve that glossy finish by covering the paper with a piece of clear tape, as I showed you in my miniature oven tutorial. Next, we'll have to print and cut this part, and then we'll fold it around the popsicles this way. We'll have to glue one end to the other like this. And finally, we'll just have to press the top and bottom of the wrapper with a pair of pliers and seal it with a drop of glue. And to quickly fill the box with popsicles, I totally cheated and stuffed all the other wrappers with a little piece of paper towel, folded over itself until it was roughly the same size as the popsicle. Oh, and if you love mini packaging as much as I do, I've got a few more designs in my shop for you. You can also find digital templates there for cutting this project with a Cricut or a Silhouette cutting machine, which will definitely save you some time. To make this chocolate-covered ice cream bar, we're gonna cut this part and glue the two sides together. Then we'll have to cut these 4 pieces and attach them to the base, 2 per side. Just as we did for the popsicles, we'll have to cover the finished piece with acrylic gesso. And then we'll color it with acrylic paints. And this is kind of a silly thing, but I painted the top part with a stick to give the illusion of chocolate dripping down from the top, if that makes sense. I don't know, I think it's a cute detail. Finally, we can coat the chocolate part with a touch of gloss varnish, again apply it in a tapping motion. And by the way, if you're curious, you can find a short list of all the supplies I used for this project in the description box. To make a hazelnut and chocolate ice cream bar, we'll have to make another bar identical to the first one, and then we'll have to take a toothpick and shave it into little pieces with a pen knife. We're gonna glue all these wood shavings to the ice cream bar. And then we'll add a few dots of chocolate paint here and there, this way. To make the packaging of our miniature ice cream bars, we can print and cut this part, and just like we did earlier, we'll have to fold all the sides and glue the tabs to create 2 little boxes. Next, we have to print and cut the wrappers, and just as we did for the popsicles, we're gonna fold them around the ice cream bars and seal them with glue. And yet again I cheated and stuffed all the other wrappers with rolled up paper towel. And our super easy, teeny tiny miniature snacks are ready. As promised, here's a link to the free printables and templates. And if you're in the mood for more easy dollhouse DIYs, you should totally check out this playlist. And this is all for today's video. Until next time, bye!